The Broken Mask and the Unveiled Cosmos. The wind, a relentless sculptor of mountains, clawed at Elara's cloak, but he barely felt its bite. Days bled into weeks as he ascended the monolithic peak, each step a testament to a resolve honed by years of gnawing resentment. Clutched in his left hand, the broken mask was more than just an artifact. It was a distorted image of his perceived creator, a symbol of the injustice he believed had been visited upon him. Its fractured lines mirrored the cracks in his own soul, each shard a silent accusation. With every punishing incline, every breath raggedly drawn, Elara felt his purpose solidify, his confidence in the impending confrontation swelling like a storm-tossed sea. He would face his creator, and he would finally find an answer, even if that answer had to be carved in divine flesh. He walked past ancient, weathered stone, remnants of a forgotten age that whispered of a time before his own, when gods walked closer to the earth. These were the ancient pillars, colossal sentinels reaching for the sky, their surfaces worn smooth by eons of wind and rain. They marked not just a geographical ascent, but a spiritual one, a passage into a realm beyond mortal ken. It was here, amidst their silent grandeur, that the very air seemed to thicken, charged with an immeasurable power. And it was here that he met his creator. The being before him was man-shaped, yet infinitely more. A deceptive familiarity cloaked an ancient power that hummed in the very air. Elara, despite his burning intent, understood the precariousness of his mortality. He forced a placid smile, his heart a drum against his ribs. "Greetings, Creator," he murmured, his voice surprisingly steady. He played the part of the deferential supplicant, the humble seeker of wisdom. His plan, a sharp, deadly thing, remained sheathed beneath his feigned reverence, to gain proximity, to get close enough to strike, to finally slay the architect of his perceived suffering, ideally before the assembled old gods he'd only ever heard whispered of in ancient tales. He craved an audience for his triumph. The Creator's eyes, ancient pools of unfathomable light, regarded him with an expression Elara couldn't decipher. A vast, knowing smile stretched across the Creator's face, a smile that seemed to encompass all time and all space. "You wish to see the Hall of Gods," the Creator rumbled, the sound like distant thunder echoing through the mountains. Elara's breath hitched. This was an unexpected opening, a direct path to his grand stage. "Yes," he managed, feigning eagerness, his mind already calculating angles, distances, vulnerabilities. More than anything. Without warning, the man-shaped creator grew, not slowly, but with a dizzying, impossible speed. Hundreds of feet tall, his form seemed to stretch into the heavens, dwarfing the ancient pillars, making the mountain itself seem like a pebble. Elara felt himself lifted with impossible gentleness, placed upon the Creator's colossal shoulder. Awestruck, he stared out at a world laid bare beneath them, the clouds a swirling carpet around their knees. The sheer scale was disorienting, exhilarating. His plan, for a fleeting moment, felt small and absurd. Then the Creator reached up, and with a movement that seemed to ripple through reality itself, removed his own mask. This was no ornate, ceremonial piece, but a part of his very being. What lay beneath sent a jolt through Elara that was both terror and profound revelation. The Creator's face was demonic-like, a landscape of ancient scars and fiery red skin, almost alien in its structure. Horns not of malice, but of raw, untamed power, spiraled from his brow. His eyes burned with an intensity that held universes within their depths. The shocking truth hit Elara like a physical blow. He was not, had never been, created in this being's image. His cherished, broken mask was a lie, a projection of his own human limitations, not a reflection of this vast, terrifying, magnificent entity. The foundation of his anger crumbled, a hairline fracture appearing in his resolve. The journey to the Hall of Gods was a blur of cosmic wonder. They didn't walk. They traversed distances beyond mortal comprehension, arriving in a breathtaking expanse that defied all earthly architecture. It was an impressive courtyard of statues and colosseums, grand beyond words. White, luminous stone rose into spires that kissed a sky filled with unknown constellations. Fountains cascaded with liquid starlight, and the air hummed with a celestial chorus. An area so beautiful, Elara almost wept. His anger, once a consuming flame, flickered, diminished by the overwhelming sense of beauty and peace that permeated this divine realm. The Creator, now seated on a throne proportioned to his immense size, began to show off the statues. Each one was a deity, a representation of an aspect of existence, and each was interactive. This, the Creator boomed, gesturing to a graceful, intricate figure that resembled a bonsai tree made of flesh and light, is the goddess of sex. Ask her anything. Elara, still reeling, watched as the statue subtly shifted, its contours inviting, its essence radiating pure, uninhibited life force. Another statue, a towering, muscular form, represented strength, its very stillness embodying unimaginable power. A third, dancing with ethereal grace, was the embodiment of joy, its form radiating warmth and lightness. Each statue hummed with a unique energy, a living embodiment of the concept it represented. Elara found himself asking questions, tentative at first, then with growing curiosity. The statues responded, not with spoken words, but with direct infusions of understanding, of feeling. He was overwhelmed by a world he had not known existed, a universe infinitely more complex, vibrant, and benevolent than his constrained mortal view had ever allowed. His last vestiges of anger and aggression towards the Creator melted away, replaced by a profound, humbling awe. "You look tired." The Creator's voice resonated, kind and knowing. "Come, dine with us, with all the gods." Elara, utterly disarmed, agreed without hesitation. He had expected a quiet meal, perhaps a continuation of the celestial tour. He did not expect the banquet. It was a maelstrom of light, laughter, and an abundance that defied mortal comprehension. The courtyard, only moments ago a serene display of divine art, was now transformed. Large tables were everywhere, groaning under the weight of exotic, shimmering foods and drinks that pulsed with inner light. The air was thick with joyous chatter, the clinking of crystalline goblets, and the sweet scent of unknown flowers. Elara had never seen so much, tasted so much, experienced so much sheer, unbridled celebration. From their individual homes, hidden realms within the vastness of creation, the gods he had just been briefed on began to arrive. The goddess of sex, now a full-figured, radiant being, laughed with a booming, lusty sound as she embraced the god of fertility. The god of strength, now a jovial giant, flexed his arm in mock challenge to the god of war, who merely chuckled and offered him a brimming tankard. All were gathered in this courtyard dedicated to themselves, a place of reunion and revelry. And the tables, oh, the tables! With a mere flick of a divine wrist, they transformed. One moment, they were laden with food. The next, with a subtle hum, they became card tables, decks of shimmering, magically imbued cards appearing in midair, dealt by invisible hands. Laughter erupted as gods playfully cheated or declared impossible wins. Another table, with a soft ripple of light, turned into a fishing table. Lines, reels, and bait, shimmering with otherworldly luminescence, just magically appeared. Next to it, a portal opened up, hovering over a vast, turbulent ocean, its salty spray misting into the hall. You could literally fish the ocean, pulling up creatures of unimaginable size and beauty. Some gods, with a theatrical flourish, wanted their dinner freshly made. Another table appeared, a hibachi-style grilling station, where colossal iridescent fish, freshly pulled from the portal, were immediately cleaned, filleted, and grilled by invisible flames, their aroma filling the air. While some gods played cards, others reveled in the fresh catch, their voices mingling in a symphony of delight. All the entertainment, the unimaginable food, the endless drinks, the sheer, vibrant life of it all, had an unexpected effect on Elara. It made him quite tired, not physically, but spiritually. Tired of fighting. Tired of a pointless anger towards something so beyond him, so utterly magnificent and benevolent, that his anger began to melt away, not in a rush, but in a slow, gentle dissolution, like ice in the warmth of a spring sun. He looked at the Creator, who watched him with a knowing smile, and realized the profound misunderstanding that had driven his entire life. The Creator wasn't an oppressive tyrant. He was a cosmic artist, a grand conductor of an infinite symphony. As the banquet hummed with life, Elara felt an odd sensation, as if the very atoms of his being were vibrating in harmony with the divine. The overwhelming beauty and sheer joy of the gods gathering slowly stripped away the last vestiges of his animosity. He realized the futility of his quest, not because he was outmatched, but because his entire premise was flawed. The Creator, seeing the man's quiet contemplation, approached him and gestured towards a particularly vibrant constellation of stars visible through an ethereal archway in the hall. "Look closely," the Creator intoned, his voice resonating not just in the air, but within Elara's very soul. As Elara gazed, he saw not just stars, but swirling galaxies, nebulae blooming like cosmic flowers, and then a familiar blue-green orb, his own world. And within that world he saw not just himself, but countless others, all living their lives, each one a unique, intricate tapestry woven with threads of joy, sorrow, struggle, and triumph. He saw the very essence of existence, a vibrant, ceaseless unfolding. "You sought to slay me," the Creator continued, his immense form leaning closer, his scarred face holding an ancient wisdom, "because you believed I was external, separate, the singular cause of your suffering. But what if you are also a creator?" The Creator placed a massive, clawed hand on Elara's chest, not with force, but with a surprising, almost delicate gentleness. Elara felt a surge of energy, a warmth spreading through him, radiating from his core. He saw a flash of light, an image of himself, not as a solitary, insignificant figure, but as a miniature, nascent creator, capable of shaping his own reality, making choices, forging his own meaning. The image was fleeting, yet profoundly impactful. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing a truth he had always instinctively known but never dared to articulate. The broken mask which Elara still clutched subconsciously suddenly dissolved into shimmering dust, dissolving into the very air. It was no longer needed, its purpose fulfilled, its lie exposed. The Creator's demonic face, once so terrifying, now appeared profoundly wise, reflecting not malice, but the raw, untamed power of creation itself, a power that encompassed both light and shadow, beauty and scarring, birth and decay. It was the face of the universe, boundless and indifferent, yet capable of profound grace. "We are all fragments," the Creator said, his voice now a whisper that echoed in the vastness of the hall, "of the same grand design. Your demons were yours to face, but not in opposition to me, but in understanding of yourself. True creation, true power, comes from within." The banquet, the gods, the hall itself, began to fade around Elara, not diminishing, but becoming more translucent, as if he were seeing through them to something beyond. He was not sent back to his world, nor did he stay in the hall of gods indefinitely. Instead, he found himself in a new space, a liminal realm between the divine and the mortal, a shimmering expanse where possibilities bloomed like celestial flowers. He had been given a glimpse behind the veil, understood the fundamental nature of existence as a shared act of creation. His journey, which began with a quest for vengeance, ended with a profound realization that his power was never in destroying the external, but in mastering the internal, in recognizing his own spark of divinity, his own capacity for creation. Elara felt the subtle, familiar tug of his own world. He could return, but he would not be the same. He was now free to live his life, not as a mortal burdened by fate, but as a conscious co-creator, capable of shaping his own destiny with wisdom and love, forever carrying the echo of the banquet, the vibrant life of the gods, and the Creator's profound, liberating revelation. The mountain he had ascended now seemed less a battleground and more a stepping stone, a gateway to an understanding that transformed his very existence. He had come to slay a god, but instead, he had discovered the god within himself.